returning for the fourth time. I want to just jump right in because I feel like that's really when I'm in the zone anyway.
Yes, literally same. I'm so
So,
excited.
and that's going to be my first question. Why are you so excited? But please hold.
Okay.
I have to let people know, if you can't tell already, Coco is back.
Hi, friends.
Coco is back by popular demand. Shout out to Christy. My student Christy really, really adores you and is
I'm
excited you're back.
so appreciative of that. Thank you, Chrissy.
And what was I going to say? Oh, we're going to jump right into Love and the Titanic, the movie.
Yes, yes.
But if you would like to know more about Coco, please listen to first, Cultivating Resilience, second, The Non-Binary.
Mhm.
Celebrities will be posting this week. Today's February 7th, in case anybody needs to know the date. And then this one will hopefully be launched. When is the Titanic launch? The new one, or what did you say? The release or something?
Yeah, so the re-release of Titanic is going back in theaters. I think this week, like this Friday.
All right. So we'll hopefully have this out by then.
I am for sure.
Okay, but please go listen to those episodes. They're all really great, and you can hear more about Coco's background and listen to us just chat.
I know I'm so excited. Oh my God.
Okay, so like I said, today we are going to talk about, and not by my choice, the Titanic.
Yes.
And Coco, I have to know first,
Mhm.
why do you like this movie so much? That's my
Okay,
first question for you.
correction. I love
Oh,
this movie. I
okay.
absolutely love this movie so, so much. The why, I don't really, it's very hard for me to even explain. Um, I think for me, I saw it when I was like 6, 7. I don't know when it came
Oh,
out.
wow. Okay.
I was pretty young,
Yeah.
and um just like the whole, it's 3 hours of your life, so I just feel like you just go through this whole journey with these two characters, these two beautiful characters that just are living completely different lives, but they feel so separated from society, and they find each other, and then those 3 days have the biggest adventure of their entire life. Are kidding me?
Oh,
There's drama, there's an action, there's horror, there's depression, there's sadness, there's heartbreak, there's love. I just like every emotion you can possibly think of happens in that movie. And I just remember feeling like I was a part of that journey with them. And I
wow.
was so in love with young Leonardo DiCaprio. Like in my hearts of hearts, I wanted a Jack Dawson. He's one of the main characters, and I was obsessed. And yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
then as I gotten older, it just started, the little things started to click a little bit differently.
Hmm.
And here we are. And I was like, oh my God, is this what love is?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll get to that. Unrealistic expectations. No, just kidding. Nobody lose hope. Everything's great. Uh okay, I gotta reel it in. Reel it in. That means I need to calm down
Take a
and
step back.
take a step back and focus on the task at hand. Um, Albert or Coco, immediately I'm like, this is why I'm interviewing you about this, because you've already convinced me why it's such a good movie. However, I want to explain myself. I
Okay.
watched this, I think I was in like fourth or fifth grade, and I
Hmm.
think I've already told you this before. It ruined our family vacation because we watched it on the way there in the car. And I just felt sick to my stomach the entire weekend and couldn't get over the tragedy of it all.
That's fair.
And I thought it was my age, but you said you were six.
Yeah, no, I was like, it's really sad. Like the second half of that movie is very, very traumatizing. Like I was very, very sad,
Oh,
but
but
like it's such an experience.
yeah. So actually, I need to clarify this. Before we recorded, Coco and I had homework and we both rewatched the
Hmm.
Titanic.
Hmm.
I had to watch it over a period of 48 hours. And I watched only the good part, paused it. Then in the daytime, started
Mm.
watching the really bad parts, and then last night I finished it. And
What like makes like what triggers you the most? Like what makes you feel uncomfortable?
honestly, one of the worst parts is when the dad is not going with his daughters, and they're like, "Dad, no," and he's like, "Yeah."
Oh my goodness.
I can't handle it. And he's like, "There's another boat for the rest of the daddies." I'm just like,
Oh
this
my
is really the worst. Or when the mom is pretending she's like everything's fine and reading them a fairy tale, and you see the water like rising on that old
oh
couple. Out the actual tragedy.
or the
It's
one where the scene where the mom is reading the bedtime story to her kids, the
that's
one
what I'm
where like
talking about. Yeah.
or the one where the lady goes with the cat. She's like, El Capitan,
Oh,
El Capitan,
I feel
please,
like I'm
I don't
gonna
know where
throw up
to
again.
go.
Yeah, it's just the constant, yeah, like as soon as chaos, and I was messaging you about this as I was watching it, as soon as tragedy hits, you want humans to do the right thing, and most of us don't.
Yeah.
So I just get so just I think that's it. It gives me like a this feeling of lack of hope
Yeah.
for humanity, basically.
But I mean, like we can talk about the ending later, but
Yeah.
it gives you hope at the end. Um, I like if you really think about the message of the movie
All right. All right.
and especially like the character, it's basically about Rose's coming of age because technically it's supposed to be like 16, even though Kate Winslet's like 27 or whatever. So
Is she?
her trajectory, like her trajectory means like moving up, going
Oh,
up.
you're getting good at
Um,
this.
her story is so beautiful because you see her escape this lifestyle that wasn't meant for her.
Yeah.
And Jack was the person to awaken her. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
so beautiful. Also,
Yeah.
the funny thing about why I loved it so much too as a kid is
Uh-huh.
I was so young that I believed that the whole story was true. Like we know that Titanic, like the
Oh,
history of Titanic is real.
right.
I believed that everything that was happening in that movie was a true story. So I thought Jack and Rose were real for
Me
a
too.
long time, for a very, very long time. So that also just added another huge love of like, oh my goodness, these two people went through this and they found
Yeah.
each other.
The old woman on the boat, you thought that that was actually Rose.
Oh God, I legitimately, or I thought someone was playing like the old, but
Real
I really
Rose.
thought Rose was a real person.
Correct. It was a sad and also actually better day when I found out based on a true story meant based and not this is a true
It's just a
story.
story. Oh, for sure. I like literally thought the same. I was like, oh, so this is not real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. They don't explain that to kids very well. At
They
least I
don't.
don't think.
They don't at all. No, they should. I mean, hopefully now they do, but definitely back then they definitely did not explain that well.
Back then.
Well, back in our olden times,
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you've explained well why this is your is this your favorite?
it's my favorite movie.
Okay.
Absolutely my favorite. I could probably
Maybe
like.
by the end of this you'll have sold me. I'm not quite there yet. Just
I don't under. I don't. It's such a yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite part of the movie? Do you have a favorite?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. My favorite part. Okay, so it depends on the day. Um,
valid.
okay, so there's the three scenes that popped up that made me feel something yesterday. They're when they're on the deck and they're she's thanking Rose is thanking Jack for saving her life and their whole communication, the flirtiness, the sassiness. It was just I love that scene. It was like, show me how to spit like a man.
Oh my
Like
God.
that whole scene is just so great to me. It just makes me feel so good.
Okay,
Um,
wait. So this is not the scene are you talking about when they first meet and then the spitting scene or specifically the spitting scene?
well, the scene where they first like talk, because that all happens at once. So like when she's thanking him,
Yeah.
and then they like go on this whole thing about him being an artist, and
Yeah.
she shows him his artwork. But
Mhm.
then um she was talking about, oh, I'm like jealous of your life. Like I would love to like be free. And then he shows her
Mhm.
like oh, like, can you show me how to spit like a man? And he's like, oh, they didn't teach you that in finishing school. And
Right.
so, and so that whole scene, and then the mom comes in with the unsinkable Molly, and it's just so good. Like that whole introduction of what was going to become Rose and Jack is so good.
Yes. Okay.
Um, but then my honorable mention, very very close second, is when Rose gets on the lifeboat first,
Oh,
and
oh, oh.
and it and it's
I've got that thing in my throat. The lump. I have a lump in my throat.
and then you just see her going down, and then Jack and Cal are just sitting there watching her, and then he was like, oh, there's not gonna be enough lifeboats, are there? He's like, not for you, that is. Oh, Cal is
Oh
so
God, so
obnoxious.
gross. He's gross.
But she goes down, and you just hear that beautiful instrumental and that beautiful woman humming in the background, and then the fireworks just goes over Jack's head, and then she jumps off the lifeboat to be with him. He's like, you're so stupid, Rose. You're so stupid. And I'm literally sobbing. I cry every time. I love that scene. It's
Uh,
heartbreaking, but it's just so beautiful because she's like, I can't
yeah,
without you. I don't
yeah.
care if I
It's
don't
like
make
this
it.
weird sense of, okay, so now she might die, but you're also relieved because they're back together.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you had to tell me that this was over the span of like 3 days. I don't know why I thought this was like a, you know, month long.
Because it feels like it, but no, it's literally 3 days.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I also need to clarify because one of my favorite scenes
Yeah, I was gonna
is
ask.
when I don't know if this is before the spitting, because when they're doing the spitting thing, by then they are already like they like each other,
They don't like
right?
each other then. Uh-uh.
They don't? Okay, then I think we like the same scene where he comes up and he goes, well, do you love him? She goes, oh,
Oh yeah,
how
that's the same.
rude. And
Yeah.
I'm like, she's mad because she doesn't love him.
He's like,
And she
you're
goes,
rude and you're uncouth.
uncouth, absurd, and I think presumptuous. It's like,
Presumptuous.
oh my,
She's like,
wow.
Jack, Mr. Dawson, it's been a pleasure.
Um, do you have a good description of uncouth? I was thinking that'd be a good word to define.
Oh gosh,
I've got it if not.
you should.
Okay, so I looked this up because I don't really use uncouth that often, but it's
It's a
such a
great word
good
though.
word. Yeah.
I should use it
Okay.
uncouth more
Yeah,
often.
I'm gonna call somebody uncouth today.
Homework, me too. Everyone, your homework assignment is to use the word uncouth in a
Yeah.
sentence.
And here's what it means. I'd say lacking good manners.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow. What
Unpolite.
a beautiful way of saying that.
I looked it up. That was not me. Don't worry. I'm using my resources. But
It's
I
one of
like
those
that one
words where
better.
it's like you know the definition, but I never like looked it up. I just knew
Hmm.
based on like what she was saying that like
Hmm.
that's what uncouth meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
a beautiful way of saying that word though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ironically, I would say Cal is technically uncouth.
Yes, he is. Oh God.
Worm.
He's the worst character.
Ugh, don't like him. Also, I need to put at the beginning, spoilers. Hopefully everyone has
Oh
seen
wow.
Titanic.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Lord.
Ugh. Okay, let's jump into the next question. Oh, I'm excited for this one. If you could be any character, who would you be and why?
Okay. I have two so obviously Rose. Like that's literally like I
Obviously.
obviously like I would I yes no I see that in my body like
You
I
feel it.
envision that yes 100% I want my Jack Dawson, but I know that's like too easy and too predictable, so my second choice would be Molly Brown, but I know but I don't want to because I see you as Molly. I was thinking when
Okay,
I was
okay.
thinking that you would 100% be Molly.
So, can I jump in?
Yeah, for sure. Tag.
Okay, also, when I say can I jump in, I mean can I talk next?
Mm,
Okay. Um, I would not want to be Rose. We need to talk about the quote, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. I
yeah, yeah.
don't agree with that. No, I'm just kidding. We'll bring it back. Remind me to bring that back.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was thinking, no, I don't want to be Rose. Like, oh, the pain, the torture, how awful.
Okay, you're okay. Grace, just to pause.
Okay.
You're only thinking about that one moment. Think about what happens after the movie, or after like the
She
when she.
has to go on without Jack.
Oh God. Okay,
You're
we'll
rolling
get
your
to
eyes.
that. We'll
All right,
get to
we'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said this because I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask Coco who they think I like identify the most with. Molly from the beginning. So she sees them spitting. She's like, "What are you wearing to dinner?" And she knows. She's like, "Okay, I gotta be your ally here and make sure
Yeah.
that you are showing up."
She's like, do you know what you're getting yourself into?
Yes, yes. And then, but then just throughout the whole movie, and then my biggest part, one of my favorite parts of the movie, not favorite, but at the end when she was like, "Your men are out there. Like, who are you people?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And just throughout the whole movie, if I identified with a character, it was definitely her.
Yeah, she brought so much heart to it. She like grounded it with a lot because
Yes.
with everyone that is either super wealthy and then the people are like she was just like in the middle and it was just
Hmm.
really, really good.
Hmm.
Also, another great character, even though I wouldn't want to die, is Fabrizio.
Why are we the same? I literally have it written down. I couldn't remember what his name was, but I was like, Molly,
Fabrizio.
Holly. I wasn't sure if her name was Molly or Holly. And his Italian friend.
We love Fabrizio. Justice for Fabrizio. I
I
love
know.
it.
I know.
I wanted a spin-off movie. I was like, what was he doing this entire time?
I know. Ooh. Ping.
Ping.
We can write a
We're
spin-off.
gonna write it.
Get to work. Oh my gosh. Okay, but yeah, that's good. Um, what was one other thing I wanted to ask you about character? I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay. And then I want to ask about
Oh gosh.
so this thought came up when I was watching it last night.
Mhm.
And I have this feeling anytime I watch a movie, I'm sure most people do, but you always think like, what would I do?
Oh yeah.
But you think, what would I do? Like, what would I want myself to do, and what would I actually do? Okay, so we've got all these different characters. The
Yeah,
captain
yeah.
stays in his on his ship. The designer, or what do you call him? The architect of the boat.
Architect. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm staying here.
Oh, what another
Other
devastating scene.
ugh, don't I'm not kidding. I can't watch this
He's like,
movie.
because I didn't build you a strong enough ship, Rose. I was like, yes, you did, Mr. Arthur. Oh,
No. Well, technically
you
not.
tried. You tried.
You tried.
You
You
tried.
tried, but you really messed up with the lifeboats.
Oh, I remind me, I have another question for that I want to ask you.
Okay, okay. And so then you have the one of the men who works on the ship who's trying to get people on the boat, and then he shoots a man and then shoots himself, and then the guys who are technically being cowards, and they I forget who that guy was, but he gets on the boat and just won't make eye contact. The people playing the music, like the band.
That part's true. That part's a real thing.
I know. I feel
Hmm.
sick to my stomach again. Okay, so anyway, my question to repeat, um, as you are watching the end of that, do you envision like what would your story be?
Oh, as me?
Yeah, as you. I like to do this. I'm like, what would I do?
What is it? First of all, what class am I?
That's a great question. Coco, classism was next. I wanted to talk about classism. This is going to be a
Yeah.
3-part series.
Yeah. Literally, there's so much to unpack in this movie.
Yeah, because, well, that's a great question.
Because like I mean, as me, I would probably be lower class,
Hmm.
um, just based on the time,
Hmm.
which is unfortunate. I would like to think I like when I envision myself in this movie, I really do see myself as Rose.
Okay. Okay, so you're Rose. Let's
Okay.
you get to you're Rose. What do you think you would do? You just met this man 3 days ago. Are you actually just give up your life?
But think about it, if I'm Rose, I'm thinking about like where my life has been. I've been trapped. So I want to go back into this
Right.
life where and marry
Right.
Cal and have my mom dictate every move of my entire existence. And there's nothing I'm not what they want me to be in this upper class, being wealthy and what is expected of women. I in my mind, I just met this guy who finally sees me for me. And I don't know if I'm going to see him again. I think in my mind, when she's in the lifeboat, I always tell myself that, like, okay, Rose, you could have just left and he probably would have fought his way to get back to you because he's like a survivor. But I also know my Pisces energy would not allow him to, because I couldn't deal with that. Like I would need to have, like, I need to be with you. So I feel like a part of me would also still have not gone on the lifeboat and stay
All
with
right. You've brought up something that I can't overlook because I don't know if everyone's going to know what Pisces energy
you.
means.
Oh.
So, two separate things. You
Yeah.
got to explain the zodiac, and then also for people who don't know anything about the zodiac, what is Pisces energy?
Okay, so with the zodiac, there's 12 signs. So 12 zodiac signs that represents your birth year or your birth month.
Mm-hmm.
And depending, sorry, I have a little cold, friends.
Oh.
Um, depending on the time that you were born, you are basically assigned a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like when like the sun was lined up with whatever. I'm probably explaining this terribly. Anyway, I was born in March,
Uh-huh.
and meaning I am a Pisces, like mid
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
And so Pisces energy, basically, I have like the personality of being very dreamy, being very creative, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm a feeler. And a
Mm-hmm.
Pisces is a water sign, so that means we're very like emotional and sensitive and flowy. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just feel, and I'm in the water too on the Titanic, so I'm just like, I have to be there with my man.
That's actually really funny. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. If any of this is real. I hate thinking about the ocean, being on a boat, the
Mhm.
thought of, well, I mean, I'm sure everybody hates the thought of drowning, but like that really,
Oh, that
I'm
freaks
on
me out.
edge the entire movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I definitely understand.
I'm not a water girl.
But yeah, I mean, I think I would like to think that I would be logical in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was Rose, I think I would hope I would just stay on the lifeboat and like
Oh,
allow Jack to
do his thing.
do his thing. I just feel he would. Like he did so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
Do you think she is why he died?
no, because I think because the creator of it, the director was like, Jack was like meant to die. And I was like,
Oh,
that's like kind of dark. I don't know. I mean, maybe you know, I want to believe that
yeah.
it's not Rose's fault.
Yeah. Okay. Which brings us
Oh God.
full circle to why
Yeah.
this even started. What was our last podcast? Celebrities?
Yeah.
And we started talking about the Titanic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're coming full circle to
Mhm.
what I like to call, actually, I'm sure somebody else named it this, the door dilemma.
Oh Lord.
Please stop, Grace. So
Ugh.
I
The biggest
personally,
debate of all time, I feel like.
the door dilemma, could he have gotten up there with her and would it have helped? And yeah, most people I think are, a lot of people say, why didn't she just move over?
I just hello, everyone. Turn up your volumes, please. And hear me
Susan
now.
close.
Because I just need to explain this to you.
Okay.
I understand that the door was big enough. You know, they could both have like maneuvered in one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
However, when they both tried, like, do you guys remember that scene where they were both tried to get on the door?
Do you guys remember? Are you all listening? Did you watch the movie? Um, I think I blacked that part out. Okay, so they're both trying to get on the door, and then he's
And it tips over. It like tips.
oh,
They both like try to get on and it tips. And
okay,
then Jack just made an immediate decision, like, okay, like this is what you just stay on, Rose.
yeah,
He makes that innate decision
yeah,
that I like you stay on. Like that's and
yeah,
he was gonna do that regardless. Like,
right,
you know, second thing. So there's this whole thing. James Cameron is the creator of Titanic. He's a director, wealthy man, made Avatar. He obviously, because we all have this conversation about the door dilemma, he obviously receives so many questions about it. And so he did this thing recently where he went on Mythbusters, which is a show that takes all of these controversial dilemmas and tries to answer them.
yeah,
And so he's so rich, had two stunt doubles who were the same age as Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, who played Jack
Mhm.
and Rose,
Uh-huh.
um, who were the same age, same weight, same height, and got him in the same clothes that they were wearing, and made them do the physical activities that Jack and Rose did in the movie, and like reenacted every scene, like when she was getting pushed into the water and and when Jack like punched the guy to like save her, and like that whole thing.
Okay, that was really.
So
Ugh.
they did the whole thing, and I mind you guys, they were running for their lives for like how long?
I mean, I think it took 2 hours. Was it more than that?
I
Oh, sorry, running. You mean while Cal was chasing them and stuff?
While even before, like Rose had to go get Jack because he was handcuffed into the pole, so
Yeah.
she had to do that. They haven't ate. They're cold. They're not gonna be like, oh, let me take a break to eat. Like the ship's sinking. Like they're probably so tired and fatigued and weak. Fatigued, it means really tired.
You're so good at this.
And So at that point, when you've been running and really trying to like save each other, and then you just end up in the middle of the ocean, and they separated for a while too. Like I don't know how long the time frame is supposed to be, but they were separated, and then Jack has to swim with no life jacket at that,
Mind you.
mind you, and save Rose. And so he was saying like they tried different ways of them fitting, and each time it did not work. But he did admit that like if they both were able to like keep their upper body and their cores out of the water, they could have, and if Rose would have gave her life jacket to Jack, it could have happened. That scenario.
Okay, yeah. Why is she on the door and not giving him the life jacket? It wouldn't have mattered. He froze.
He froze. It's not like him because he can swim. Like he's able to float. That's not the issue. The issue is that he died of hypothermia.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that I believe if we were like in a situation, I'm not gonna be able to problem solve like that. Like, let's try every different angle for us to make sure, like, like you're not like I'm freezing. My brain is I'm tired. I
Yeah.
literally can't. So Jack made the decision that Rose, you have to make it. And
Yeah.
that's okay. And this is where like it all just makes me so happy at the end of the movie. But I'll
I'm
talk
sorry. You feel happy?
about not at this. No, not not in that scene. No,
Oh, okay.
no,
In that scene, Coco's just sitting there with a big old smile.
no. That scene is actually like I think that scene is like the first moment I've learned what heartbreak. I was so devastated. Like I was so. I think I also like couldn't finish it at first. Like I was like you. I was so sad because they were so close.
Yeah.
Um, but when he's like trying to calm her down because she's like, oh, like Jack, I don't think I'm gonna make it, and he was like, no, like you promised me that you're gonna die an old woman
Yeah.
warm in her bed,
Yeah.
not like this. No, oh my gosh, ew,
I
I mean,
think he says, "Will you do me the honor of survive or something, something stupid."
and he was like everything that he needed was like meeting her and like that whole situation because you never know, he
Mhm.
probably could have died without meeting her too if she was ever on the boat, like like
Mhm.
we don't know,
Mhm.
but she basically keeps her promise.
Yeah.
Everything they talked about on the boat, she does. And like, oh, the scene where she's just like, what's your name? And she was like, Dawson,
Oh, I
Rose.
know. Oh my God, I got chills.
Oh,
That part, I like. You're like
oh,
that
it's
part.
so amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so to go back to the original question, I don't think he like, yeah, they probably could have thought of so many ways, but I don't think anyone who was in the middle of the ocean, who was freezing, who was tired, like would be able to like problem solve in that way.
Yes, correct.
It's
I'm actually really glad you brought that up. I'm over here like, oh, they've been training for an Iron Man, and
they
they
actually
are
knew the Titanic was sinking, so they've been preparing this entire time.
fully nourished. My gosh, not at all fatigued.
Just they're just fine.
Oh my gosh. That actually, I'm so critical because then towards the end he's like, you're gonna take a deep breath when I tell you to. Okay, too soon. He told her to take a deep breath way too quickly. I was like, we've got 4 more seconds.
He's like,
Yeah, so I'm being hypercritical of that. And then hold on to my hand, don't let go. Instantly, their hands are gone.
Oh God, my heart. That scene. Oh,
That scene.
just a lot of emotions.
That's what I mean. I think I can't, and you know this about me. I'm already a very hypersensitive. Like I think I just feel
You
things
feel
deeper.
things, and you like you put yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah, maybe I need to work on that.
I mean, it's a good quality of yours. But like I was like the way that you were avoiding Titanic. I was like, okay, like you
I
know something, right?
I think that was the second time I've seen it. I
Wow.
think I was a one and done. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I honestly, Grace, I don't know why I love it so much. I'm telling you, everyone that I watched Titanic every single day for like a year once.
Goodness.
Oh God, I absolutely love that movie so much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
I was like, oh, that when Rose is like, it's been 84 years and
Oh,
you could still smell the fresh paint.
oh,
The china had never been used. The sheets have never been slept in. Titanic was the ship of dreams.
oh my
It was. It really was. Oh my God. And then you just pan out to and it goes back to the 1912. Are
God.
you
Yeah.
joking?
Oh my God. First of all, you know what? Should we just quote the movie? You want to just go through it really quick? You want to be king?
You jump, I jump. Remember? Oh God, that movie is so yummy. I love it.
Yummy is a good word.
That
Yummy.
just, that's like me just saying it's good.
Actually, I was gonna say, some native English speakers might not even use the word yummy like that, but I love it when people use, I think I've said this before,
Yeah,
words that you would use to describe food, to describe things you're
your
not
life.
really eating. Yeah, yummy, delicious,
Mm,
tasty. Okay, so anyway, yummy is something I would say if I eat really good food. So I really appreciate you using
mm.
that for
Of course, of course. Um,
okay, do we
wait,
need to circle back to something?
can I
Yeah.
ask you two questions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, first question. Who do you feel like is to blame for the sinking of Titanic? So it's three people.
Okay.
The architect who like said like, oh, I didn't build you enough. I built you a strong ship. Or I don't know what his role is. I think he like financed it. The one who ends up going on the lifeboat, where he said, let's turn up the engines and let's get to their destination sooner. I think they're going to New York, right? I think they're going to New
Hmm.
York. Let's get to our destination sooner, so let's speed that up. And
Hmm.
then third, the captain for making the decision
Hmm.
to listen.
Yep.
Basically, listen to the.
Great question.
Mhm.
And a little bit of my background. So oldest of four kids. It's either no one's fault or everyone's fault.
Mm,
I don't believe in like extremes in this case, and I don't think I can pinpoint one person. I mean, I could for
yeah,
fun. I'll
yeah,
tell you
yeah.
for fun who I think it is.
Okay,
But realistic me, I'm like, no, no, no. Like if it's going down, we're all going down. And they all played a part. And then not having so, and you're talking about it actually sinking. That many people didn't have to die anyway if we would have had the right amount of
amount of
lifeboats
lifeboats.
and not been so confident and cocky about a boat that can't
The
sink.
unsinkable. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's my immediate answer. My fun answer, because he's so cowardly, the financer guy. The
Yeah, yeah.
Because the other two stay on the boat.
They do. They do. They do.
So I mean, I think I just want to point fingers because I was like, oof.
God, yeah, that scene is so aggravates me when he goes in that boat.
Yeah, but you can feel every feeling too. You're like,
Every
oh,
feeling. Oh, and the way the guy looked at him, he's like,
yep. Yeah. Down. What does he say? I was like, this scene is very powerful too.
it's so powerful. There's so many hidden moments in that.
I
Oh
know.
gosh.
I know. And
Anyway.
just the facial expression of the man lowering the boats. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, I see you.
He's just, and he did not even make eye contact. He was
Nope.
like, I don't care. But
um,
I think he ends up taking his own life at the like that he's like an actual historical figure from Titanic.
oh, is he?
Mhm.
Okay,
So Jack
so
and Rose are like the ones who are created for the movie, but everyone
correct.
else,
Yeah.
mostly everyone else
Well, I
is
mean, the rest of it is based on a
they
true story.
it's not a true story.
Um, Okay, and then wait, what do you
Oh,
think? Who do you think?
I agree. But I'm also annoyed because like, well, I feel like the captain and specifically the captain had the choice to be like, no, like we're not doing that. That's not safe. Because he had
Yeah.
it, he had the thought, like, no, like we don't. And then he was like, let's do this. Like this little guy, like I don't like what he's gonna do, fire you? Like, no. You could just stuck to your guns and be like, no, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
at
Right.
all. But no, the definitely middle guy, just annoying.
And then this brings up another part that I wrote down as I was taking notes. So we kind of talked about classism a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And when Cal is like trying to give this guy money, and I'm like, at the end of our this, it's a great portrayal of money's not going to do anything for you when you
Yeah.
get like, it actually just really shows that money doesn't matter. Ultimately, money does
Yeah.
not matter. Okay, well, it does matter, but you know what I mean? Like,
In
at
that
the
situation, it really does not matter.
like
And but
seriously.
they're trying to maintain that class. Like you could just tell the people who are upper class, the rich, were not care. They didn't believe that because like they were not seeing anything. Do you remember like
No.
the scene where the guy is drinking the brandy with his butler?
Yeah.
And he's like doesn't believe it. He's like, oh, I'm just hanging out. And then he finally sees the water and he's like, oh, this is actually terrible. Where you see all the people who are in the lower
Yeah.
class
Being
fighting,
locked
like
in
they're not
there.
allowing them to fight for it, giving
Mm-hmm.
them a chance to live. Like it's so devastating that they still are trying to maintain that classism
Yeah.
throughout.
It's yeah.
It's
I've
wild.
got that like fiery thing in my stomach happening again.
Yeah. Oh, oh, it burns me up inside.
Ugh, okay. Anything else you want to say about classism that came up in that movie?
Um.
Oh, also, should we talk about what classism is?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if you like already talked about it in a different podcast. Yeah, for sure.
Well, any ism. Okay, so ISM.
Mm-hmm.
People will talk about the isms. So you have
Mm-hmm.
racism, which is well, okay. So you have like racism, sexism,
Sexism.
classism, linguicism. Okay, and any of those where you're treated differently based on whatever topic we're talking about. So racism, you're treated differently and badly because of the color of your skin,
Your skin.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So classism, it's based off of your class. So how much money you have or your family has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How is that explanation?
That was a great explanation. Yeah.
Oh, this is one of the things when I'm teaching, I struggle with like teaching on the spot and not looking something up in advance.
But that's amazing though. That was really well done. I love that you do that because it even causes me to think about like what are these words that we're just known to say. So it's like nice to like actually be able to think about okay, this is what that means. So
Yeah.
I love that you do that.
If you
Uh,
teach it, you know it.
yeah, and I think that's what the movie's so great too. There's a lot of like teachings in it about
Mm-hmm.
classism because you just like don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
still classism till this day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just so like throughout the beginning of the movie, just even how the staff on Titanic treats, the upper class compared to the lower class.
Yeah.
How Jack and Fabrizio literally had to fight their way to like
Yeah.
make it on that. It's just yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
the
sorry. I just thought of another one of my favorite scenes where they're at that classy, fancy dinner.
oh,
They say
sick.
something
Oh,
super gross and sexist about, oh, Jack, do you want to stay here with the women? And I don't know, there's a lot of good quotes there. And then Jack
oh.
looks at her. Okay, also, he slips her a little note. He's like, meet me at the clock, make it
The
count.
count.
I
Oh,
died. That's my
I'm
favorite
lied.
scene.
I
I
lied.
take
That's
it
like
back.
one of my favorite. Oh my gosh! In the parties, yeah. Actually, that's my favorite scene. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Go
Yeah, whoa,
back,
whoa, whoa.
go back, go back.
Wow, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's such a great scene.
And then he
Continues.
takes her to an actual, he's like, you want to go to a real party? And then they
Yeah.
go and they dance. And I think that's another great portrayal of like what actually matters. Like, does money actually make you happier?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, that question. Because like up there's classism, there's sexism. Like women are not treated like they are human, that they are capable. But when
Mm-hmm.
she went into the lower class, it was a community. Everyone was treated like an equal, and they like based on what I'm seeing in this party. But I felt like everyone
Based on
was,
what I'm seeing in this
because I don't know if they like men treat,
True.
but they were all together, and women and men were joining together, and she was living.
Yeah.
She didn't have to be proper. She didn't have to like do
Yeah.
these things, these expectations that were expected of her because she was a woman.
Yeah.
Um, and that reminds me of the scene where when her mom is like putting the corset on her,
Oh,
and she was like, "We like." The reason why they had to marry Cal was because their family was broke. Like
yeah.
Rose's dad died and didn't leave them any money, just a bunch of debt. And
Mhm.
so marrying Cal would have set them up to maintain their class.
Yeah.
And Rose was like, "This is not fair, mom." And when this quote, she's like, "It's not supposed to be fair. We're women." Chills. I was like, "Oh, you're
I
so
know that
endearing."
scene says a lot.
It says a
Uh,
lot.
oh, I'm glad you said this. I've mentioned this in class before. If you say someone's broke,
Mm,
means they don't have any
have
money.
my money.
So I'm broke. It just means I don't have money. But you also use that to say something is broken. So it can be
Oh
confusing.
gosh, yeah, very confusing. Um, but yeah, I love how they just everything is just like I see there's so much in that movie. If you really like watch, you're like, wow, there's just so and then on top of there's romance. It's just so great.
I know.
Um, my
Tragedy,
second question for you,
romance.
Grace,
Yeah.
the ending has also been um a discussion. Is it a dream or did Rose die and went to heaven and reunited with Jack at the end of the movie?
Shut up. Okay. I thought it was a dream, but you mean people are saying, oh no, she actually died?
I
Okay.
that's been a discussion. I won't tell you what I think it is, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
I think I don't know what to think now. Well, I thought it was a dream, but now I could definitely see it being her, like, she threw the locket into the ocean, she said her final piece, she got her story out, and now she is returning to her love. Well, this is annoying. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It's definitely that.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe when I first watched as a kid, I thought it was a dream, but watching it now, I was like, it was for sure. Because when you think about the movie, they talk all these things that they wanted to do and that Jack was supposed to teach her, and then and he says, "You're not gonna die here, not like this, but you're gonna die an old woman, warm in her bed." She's old.
Oh,
She's
she's
a
warm in her
hundred.
bed. I have
She's warm
chills.
in her bed. She's back on the where it all started. She
Oh my
throws
God.
and then they pan with all the photos like showing evidence that she learned how to horseback ride, she
Oh,
traveled
I
around the
have
world,
chills.
she did all these things that she told Jack that she was gonna do with him,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
and she said he said you're gonna get married and have a bunch of kids. She did all those things she ended up doing, and then she died peacefully in bed. Where then they pan out, and if you look at the audience who's clapping for them, they're all the people who died on the ship. It's not like anyone who like
Correct.
you don't see her mom, you don't
No.
see like anyone,
Cal.
Cal, Molly, you don't
No.
see any of them. It's all the people who didn't survive that were on it, and then she's wearing white, like Hello Angel, and yeah, no, I believe that she died and ended up back with her love.
I'm speechless. I can't continue. What? Oh my gosh, 100%.
Yeah.
100% sold.
Yeah.
You sold me. You have sold me that this movie is actually pretty decent, and you've sold me that this is heaven.
Isn't that so beautiful?
Yeah, and now immediately I'm like, oh my God, her granddaughter.
But she's 100.
Correct. I mean, I guess.
She got that new man now.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Hmm.
Oh wow, that
So
brings
with
me to
that,
some
you're just like, oh
peace.
my God, that's so like to feel something for someone that quickly.
Yeah.
And like he literally and oh God, the quote she's like, Jack changed my life in the ways that any man should ever change. I'm like, ew, I'm getting emotional. Like any way that a man should change you. And because she could have still been trapped, and just having that strong connection with someone who knew her more than everyone else that has been in her life,
Yeah.
show her like she was so capable and
Yeah.
so strong. And she literally was like, I'm gonna start over. And
That
everyone
makes you
thought that Rose died. Like none of her family knew that she's alive. Like
right.
I just think
Wow.
it's just like it's Rose's coming of age and like
Yeah.
her story transforming from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's so beautiful.
Wow. Okay, I was not mentally prepared for that. Now I'm just like, oh my God. I'm a
So
little overwhelmed. Okay, I was going to ask, normally I wrap up with a quote, an idiom or expression. I feel like we've kind of been putting quotes throughout. Are there any final quotes that really stick with you or any final thoughts as we come to a close?
I feel like I quoted a lot of it.
You what?
I feel like I quoted a lot of it.
Yeah,
I
I
can
know.
say though, the iconic "I'm the king of the world." Um, Leonardo DiCaprio, that was not in the script. He like ad-libbed that,
Of
meaning
course he did.
so he just kind of created it on his own. That's what
Yeah.
ad means. But
Oh,
yeah, so
yeah. Good.
yeah, he did that, which is such like an iconic line that everyone
Yeah.
always says when they think of that line when they think of Titanic. So
Yeah, definitely. I think my favorite one is when he says, winning that ticket was the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's as they're like they're they're dying,
That's
right?
funny that you like that when you really can't even watch that scene.
I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic. I think that's also why I it just like really hits me because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a tragedy, but like the creator said, like Jack had to die for everything for like
Yeah,
Rose's story.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, to unfold.
yeah,
And then I also like I think that this is what older Rose says. Um, and this was a part where I was like, really? You never told your granddaughter these stories? Like, what are you talking about? And then she at the end, I think, says, a woman's heart is an ocean of deep
of
secrets.
secret.
Like, oh my gosh, so dramatic. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I I think my favorite quote too is literally when they're all like crying after she tells it, and then she says that whole thing about Jack, like Jack loves me. Now people know the story of Jack and that he loved me in every way that a woman should love, and that he saved me. It's just like such a beautiful the whole story, and she just talks about how like the impact that this man had on her, that even like her husband after the fact doesn't even know and hasn't even made that much of it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, oh, thank God we don't know who the husband was.
We don't need to know his story.
Maybe you could write that one. Fabricio. What was it? Fabricio? That's his name, right?
Fabrizio.
And then her husband. I mean, no wonder she didn't share the story. How would you not feel like second choice?
Literally. She's like, I
But
would not be with you if it wasn't if I had a choice.
Coco, we're gonna have to do another one because I have to go to work. And I want to talk to you about some of these love quotes. So like, is it possible to like love like that again? And I wanted
Um,
to ask you about, is
you
it
want to
better
ask me that question?
Yep, yep. Not right now. Not right now. But on the love podcast, because I have that class coming up in February. And then is it better to have loved and lost than to never have loved? I'll get
Mm,
you some quotes and we'll
okay.
dive in.
I love that. That's oh my gosh. I
This
can't
is
wait.
turning into the English and Coco and Coco. No, wait, English with Grace and Coco.
I'll keep coming back for more if
Whatever.
you
I
have me.
mean,
I love it so much.
all right. Well, seriously, this has been, I was really excited about this because I love
So
talking about
excited.
topics that I don't know a lot about, which is another
Mhm.
reason I love my classes. Um, is there anything else? Any final thoughts or
No,
comments?
I mean, if you have not seen Titanic, watch it.
Homework?
Watch it regardless, because now watch it in the lens that I watched it through
I do
also.
love that. I do love that.
And see what you like pick up on, because there's
Hmm.
just so many amazing things.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
I'm glad that you love I literally love this movie so much. I'm thankful and grateful that you allowed me to share that love.
I believe in
So,
second chances, so I rewatched it, and yes, I've come. There's a little bit more to it than I was giving it credit for.
yeah, it's still devastating, but it's still like just like the whole story is just
I'm
such a
not kidding,
beautiful.
Coco. My heart aches. Like I have an ache in my chest right now. I don't like these feelings.
But we're
And
gonna talk about that when we talk about love
yeah,
then.
okay, perfect. So I'll cut it. I will add your links so people can find you. I know you've got a few live streams coming up.
I do.
And
Stay
I
tuned.
mean, you'll be back. So thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, all right, Alex, you're gonna have to cut that out.